Okay, good morning po sa inyong lahat mga kaibigan, Batang Maynila, Toits. O ngayon po sana, ngayong araw na ito, ay itutuloy itong investigasyon tungkol dyan sa nangyaring sugar fiasco. Ito po yung pag-angkat ng gobyerno ng libu-libong toneladang asukal sa pamamagitan ni Undersecretary Panganiban na ayon kay Senator Riza Hontiveros ay lubang questionable sapagkat marami silang nilabag na protocols at para bang etong si Undersecretary Panganiban ay malakas ang loob na pumirma dun sa importasyon ng walang go signal sa presidente. Hindi natin alam kung totoong walang signal sa presidente. So, nangyari, itutuloy na sana. Ang problema mga kaibigan, dumating si Executive Secretary Bersamin. Ang problema, yung mga importanteng tao na dapat tatanungin, katulad ni Undersecretary Panganiban, wala. Tapos yung mga kasama niya pang mga iba pang undersecretary na kasabwat dyan sa importasyon, wala rin. So paano matutuloy etong investigasyon ng Senado? Kaya naman mga kaibigan, etong si Senator Riza Hontiveros sobra pong nadismaya dito sa hindi pagpapakita nitong mga miyembro ng gabinete na dapat sana sila ang magbibigay liwanag sa lahat ng pangyayari. So ito mga kaibigan, panoorin natin etong nangyari diyan sa Senado kanina. Na imbestigahan nga sana, tutuloy sana itong investigasyon ng problema, wala nga yung iba. Yung pinaka-importante pang mga tao, yung pa yung wala. So parang nangyari nito, parang parang baliwala itong Senado. Kumbaga kaya daw wala kasi ito, may mga sari-sariling lakad. May mga dapat gawin. So parang ang dating sa akin. Ano tong Senado, binabaliwala lang nitong mga undersecretary? Parang deadma lang. Kasi importante rin to pero bakit wala sila? Pinaliwanag naman ni Executive Secretary Bersamin kung nasaan tong mga tulonggis na to. Pero yun lang, nakakadismaya talaga kasi importante rin ito yung ginagawa ng Senado pero parang binabaliwala lang na itong mga undersecretaries na ito na parang ang lakas-lakas talaga ng kapit dito sa namumuno sa bansa natin. So ito mga kaibigan, panoorin natin etong nangyari dyan sa Senado.
I noticed the absence of several invited resource persons, notably members of the cabinet, who should have been here and they would have given critical information and testimony. I noticed likewise specifically the absence of Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, the absence of the former SRA Administrator David John Alba, likewise, the absence of Secretary Alfredo E. Pascual of the Department of Trade and Industry, as well as the glaring absence of Undersecretary Panganiban of the Department of Agriculture. Before we administer the oath, maybe know from the good Executive Secretary the reasons for the whereabouts of all the resource persons I just mentioned. If you can apprise this committee, Mr. Executive Secretary, bakit po wala sila ngayon sa araw ng pagdinig na ito? You have the floor.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of this committee. Secretary Balisacan is presently in Vancouver because of a prior scheduled trip. He will be away for until May 11. Secretary Pascual is right now in Indonesia attending to a ministerial level conference, and he will be there until the ASEAN Summit, which will be for up to May 11 also, Your Honor. As to Undersecretary of Agriculture Panganiban, he is right now in Washington, D.C. on official mission. All of these three, Your Honor, would have come here if the schedule were different. But it happens that their trips coincided with our meeting today.
So, ES, Bersamin, pero nagpapasalamat kami at nandito ka. But just the same, hindi po natin mahalukay po yung ilan naman nito kung wala po yung mga nabanggit ko. So, they are vital to the investigation that this committee will be undertaking. Kaya, mahihirapan po siguro tayong tumuloy kung wala sila. Nakakalungkot po yan na pangalawang hearing na ho natin ito na sana ay masimula na at matapos na. Sana masimula na at matapos na. Ganun pa man, sa mga naririto, magkakaroon pa tayo ng susunod na pagdinig kasama yung mga nabanggit ko na wala ngayon. Mr. Executive Secretary, may papangako pa ba natin na sa susunod na pagdinig ay dadalo na sila?
Yes, I think so, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. The Undersecretary of Agriculture will be in Washington until May 13. If we could schedule his appearance after that, he will be available. As to Secretary Pascual and Secretary Balisacan, I think the same is true for them. The Executive Secretary, Your Honor, will always be at your disposal.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat, Executive Secretary. Pero Executive
Mr.
Secretary, although he is no longer part of the government bureaucracy, si Mr. David Alba, former acting administrator of the Sugar Regulatory Administration, submitted a letter. I have a photocopy in my possession. Siya naman po ay humihingi ng paumanhin na hindi siya makakadalo ngayon dahil siya ay nasa Australia hanggang June for personal reasons. Ito po ba ay matutulungan nyo kami na si Mr. Alba ay makadalo rin dito sa pagdinig ng Blue Ribbon Committee?
I am just presuming, Your Honor, that his being away in Australia right now must have been due to health reasons, because he resigned his position due to being in dire health condition. We tried to convince him to stay on, but he just wanted to undergo some processes. We cannot tell when he will be due, but if his letter says
June.
he can return by June, I don't see any reason why he will not appear here after he arrives.
Thank you, Mr. Executive Secretary.
Mr. Chair.
Senator Hontiveros, is this an opening statement or?
Not yet, Mr. Chair.
Not yet.
In line with the
Yes.
points of the Chair so far. Salamat, Chair. I'm glad to hear na sisiguruhin na in the next hearing, Usec Panganiban will be here, as well as the Chair has directed former Administrator Alba. Kung maaari po, Chair, sa susunod na hearing, nandito rin po yung CONFED. I'm glad that UNIFED is also here through Mr. Lamata, but I hope that in the next hearing, CONFED, which is actually even bigger, will also be here, Mr. Chair. So magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. This whole fracas is about government through DA Undersecretary, Senior Undersecretary Panganiban, granting import allocations to only 3 importers, All Asian Countertrade Inc., Sukden Philippines, and Edison Lee Marketing Corp., covering a total import volume of 440,000 metric tons of sugar. At this point, I wish to express my serious disappointment that Undersecretary Panganiban is not here. Gusto kong ipaliwanag nila kung bakit nila napili ang 3 importer na ito. Gusto kong sabihin nila sa harap ng sambayanan kung bakit nila naisip na pwedeng mag-angkat na walang sugar order. Gusto kong malaman kung bakit matapos sabihin ng Senado ng isang sugar order ay dapat hindi defective, dapat hindi basta-basta pumipirma ang Usec nang walang malinaw na pahintulot ng Pangulo na dapat dumaan sa board ng management ng SRA ang mga importation, bigla-biglang at the behest of an undersecretary, pwede na basta magpasok ng asukal sa kanyang mga piniling importer at pwede silang mag-act in haste without facing any consequences in the civil service? Higit sa lahat, gusto ko sanang matanong si Usec Panganiban, saan sila humuhugot ng tapang? Sino ang nagbibigay ng go signal? May mga mataas na opisyal ba na dapat managot dito? O may nagbibida-bida lang at gumawa ng sariling desisyon? And I want to ask these questions, Mr. Chair, in full view of the public, sa harap ng sambayanang Pilipino, the way we did for the first sugar hearing. They will tell you there were good reasons for choosing the three. Maglalabas sila ng mga resolution of support, statements of confidence, at kung ano-ano pa para sa All-Asian, Sukden, at Edison Lee. All-Asian countertrade that had a history of smuggling during the period of 1998 to 2000. Sukden that, according to an independent audit report dated 2022, has a capital deficiency of $394,103 and 35,007 and $35,784, quote, resulting from continuing losses, close quote, which, according to the report, quote, raises doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern, close quote. I have a copy of this audit report, Mr. Chair, and I'm here ready to flash this and provide copies as well to all of you, dear colleagues. Friends, in previous sugar orders, there were always several importers given import allocations. Malimit, mga 20, even more. And there was a clear basis for the allocation. Pero ngayon po, 3 lang. For a total import of 440,000 metric tons. Para namang sila lang ang mga anak ng Diyos. And you know how crazy big this is, Mr. Chair? Ang kailangan nilang bunuin na performance bond ay bilyong-bilyong piso. But wait, there's more. Para di naman siguro masyadong pagpawisan itong ating 3 importer, the performance bond was waived for them. A performance bond which guarantees that providers will deliver goods to the Filipino people in timely and satisfactory fashion was waived for them. Here it is, Mr. Chair. I cannot remember the last time that the performance bond was waived. It is bad enough that this huge amount of sugar is to be handled by only 3 importers, 3 hand-picked importers. This would already have raised eyebrows from a policy perspective. What is worse is that a portion of this shipment was allowed in even before a sugar order. This is so irregular that it was even flagged by the Department of Agriculture through Assistant Secretary James Layub. Here's the letter. And by the Bureau of Customs, which issued a warrant of seizure and detention. So these 3 points are clear, Mr. Chair. 1, the undeniable truth that there was no sugar order establishing a sugar importation program between the period of October 20th, 2022 and February 14th, 2023. 2, a sugar importation program reposed in a sugar order is a necessary prerequisite to importation. That was established in the first Blue Ribbon hearing, in which the issue was only whether or not an SO is defective for not having been signed by the President. Ito, wala talaga. And 3, any sugar importation above 1 million pesos without a sugar order is considered large-scale agricultural smuggling in violation of Republic Act number 10845. Kung mismong opisyal ng gobyerno ang nagpapasimuno ng padrino at favoritism, gaya na lang ng pagpili lamang ng 3 kumpanya para mag-import ng 440,000 metric tons ng asukal bago pa mailabas ang lehitimong sugar order. Paano pa tayo magtitiwala na ang ginagawa nila ay para sa kapakanan ng bawat Pilipino? But the larger policy issues should not remain uninterrogated. Ginawang 3 lang ang maaaring mag-angkat ng asukal, giving them not just super profits, but an opportunity to control sugar prices. Imbes na binuksan sa madaming players, hinayaang pakyawin ng 3. Imbes na fair competition, monopolyo. Unregulated private monopolies are given the power over what used to be competitive markets. Imbes na magmura ang presyo ng asukal, baka tayo ang mapamura sa paglipad ng presyo at sa napakalaking kita ng mga gahamang ito. Bakit consumer ang magtitiis? Bakit ang ordinaryong Pilipino ang matatamaan? Mr. Chair, dear friends, I would like to close by quoting from the committee report of the Blue Ribbon, which was approved in plenary and presumably bears the wisdom of the Senate. The Senate recommended measures to, and I quote, prevent collusion between SRA, importers, and other unscrupulous persons. Page 56 of the transcript. Dahil ang pagtingin po ng ating Senado, hindi talaga maganda ang collusion o ang sabwatan. Kaya ang pinakamahalaga ko sigurong tanong, totoo po ba ang photo na ito? At kung totoo, kailan ito kinuha? Mr. Chair, I really hope that we get to the bottom of the issues in this hearing. From the evidence I've seen so far, it seems to me a case of ignorance or violation of our laws by government implementers at best and state-sponsored smuggling at worst. Salamat po, Mr.
Hello, mga nanonood dyan. Mag-subscribe po kayo sa Batang Maynila Toits. Ay, mali, ganyan pala.